We play and call it work.
Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to another episode of Your Lore Questions Answered. This is where I answer your lore questions, obviously. And if you have any lore questions that you want to be answered, make sure you leave a comment below. Don't repeat the ones you said in previous ones. I am holding on to all of those. I can only answer one at a time. But if you do see ones that you really want answered from other people, make sure you thumb them up, because I will focus on the ones that get thumbed up the most. And, of course, as always, thank you for being here. So, today's question is from Logan Lowe. Who are the Sentinels of the Forge? Background and creation. Now, I am the most qualified person to answer this, and that is not pride. It's because I created them. Sentinels of the Forge is the MiniWarGaming custom chapter that we have used in a few narrative campaigns. Now, I don't want to give you all the information that I currently know about them, because there would be some spoilers for future narrative campaigns that we will be seeing. So I will tell you what you've probably learned so far in the narrative campaigns, and I'll tell you a bit more than that too. So if you're watching this video and you've watched those narrative campaigns, then you can have even more information. Currently, they've been featured in the World Engine narrative campaign, the Tyrus Incident narrative campaign, and they showed up momentarily in Storms of Ixia. And in Dark Heresy Shadows Beneath, our role-playing show, we were on the same planet that they used to be, but they were no longer there. And I can tell you that in Death Watch, our Death Watch Tyrus campaign, which I'm not sure when this video is going up, so it might already be going up, there is maybe somebody from the Sentinels of the Forge amongst all of them. That's what I will say. So what we know about the Sentinels of the Forge: they were part of the 21st founding back in the 36th millennium, I believe that is. The 36th or 37th millennium. But the 21st founding was a very special founding. It was called the Cursed Founding. And because most of the chapters created there turned out to have genetic mutations or other problems, either they seemed just like bad luck or other stuff like that. Well, the Sentinels of the Forge were no exception. They are presumably a successor chapter to the Salamanders, one of the very few. And the reason the 21st founding was considered cursed was also because they thought the Adeptus Mechanicus were actually manipulating Gene Seed to try to improve on it, and that was a big no-no. The Emperor made it; it was perfect. Don't mess with it since, unless you're Gilliman. Then you're welcome to do whatever you want because you're Gilliman. So, anyways, so the Sentinels of the Forge were created. They were very stalwart, very loyal. They didn't fall to chaos at all, as far as anybody could see. But they kind of, half their chapter basically disappeared at some point, and nobody really knows why. There was a big warp storm that basically shattered through their world, and half the chapter just disappeared. Now, what we do see, and what I will tell you, is that in the World Engine narrative campaign, we meet that half of the chapter. They are stuck in the warp on a shadow version of their world, where they're constantly fending off demon attacks, and they're just trying to find a way out of the warp. The problem is every time they leave the warp, they always inevitably get yanked back into it. It isn't until they see, as they're floating through the warp on their planet, they see this big null zone, and they're not sure what it is. And so they decide, well, if it's a null zone, that'll take us to real space and maybe help sever the link. Turns out the null zone was being created by a World Engine, which is a planet-sized ship that the Necrons have. The Necrons can often, if they get enough power, they can actually turn their world into one giant ship by just turning on the engines. A lot of them are built that way. And they project this null zone to keep chaos away, essentially, because they have no psychic barriers other than that. So that collapsed them out of the Immaterium into real space. They saw the World Engine. They fought the World Engine. They were defeated by the World Engine. And a bunch of them, including Chief Librarian Matthias and the Forge Father Davicus, were then taken and sold and traded by the Necron Overlord Canum to Trazine the Immortal, where they currently reside in his vaults. So we know that there's a bunch of Sentinels of the Forge currently in Trazine the Infinite's vaults. Fast forward a bit, we go over to the world of Tyrus. It's a penal mining colony, amongst other things. And on that is actually one of the recruitment worlds of the Sentinels of the Forge as well, except ones that aren't stuck over in the warp. We have a story that involves them going through the jungle and being attacked by Nurgle Tyranids as well as other Tyranids and Genestealer cult. And in the end, they are successful, and more of their chapter returns to help them purge the world. But then when we come to the Deathwatch Tyrus, which is our narrative camp, sorry, not Deathwatch, Dark Heresy Tyrus, Dark Heresy Shadows Beneath, which was our role-playing game campaign, the Sentinels of the Forge are nowhere to be seen. I'm not going to tell you where they've gone because that's something I'm going to save for a future narrative campaign. So the Sentinels of the Forge are tainted in that way. There's still a lot of questions left to be answered. Some of them I don't even know the answers to because I haven't needed to answer them. Like, for example, do they stay loyal? Do some of them fall to chaos? When they were in the warp for so long, did it mutate them at all? All these things are things that are still going to be answered. So I'd love your ideas, because why not? Ideas from anywhere would be great. What do you think should happen to Sentinels of the Forge? Based on what I just said to you, what cool ideas can you think of for them that I should incorporate into their lore? Leave comments below on that. Also, make sure you leave comments and questions you'd like me to answer, and I'll make sure to check those out. And as always, if you'd like to support us, make sure you become a Vault member. If you're not already, if you are already a Vault member, thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us. You can become a Vault member by going to MiniWarGaming.com/Vault trial and getting a free trial, getting instant access to thousands of videos, battle reports, painting tutorials, behind the scenes, all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. Help us to be able to grow MiniWarGaming even more so we can make even more videos for you and more entertainment content. Thank you so much for watching. Happy wargaming.